As the race to the next set of off-season governorship elections intensifies, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is in the eye of the storm to deliver credible polls. As such, the Interparty Advisory Council, IPAC, has urged INEC to ensure free, fair, and credible governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states on the 11th of November. In a statement, the national chairman of IPAC, Yabagi Sani, said INEC is trying its best in its preparation, but a lot more needs to be done to ensure that the elections are each free and credible and sustainable compliance with the provisions of 2022 Electoral Act. Mojit, because of the February outing and INEC, they have a lot of homework to do in terms of correcting any impression they might have given out there. So they have to perfect the modality of this particular off-season election. If they are uploading, if they are going to make use of IRF, if they are not going to do that, they should not make any promise, especially when they are telling people real time.
Yeah, I think IPAC is raising this dust because the three states are peculiar states and very, very volatile. Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi. Two are similar. We have the incumbent seeking re-election in Imo and Bayelsa, while
Kogi.
Fresh candidates are going to be on the ballot in Kogi, but it's also very volatile because Yaya Bello in Kogi, the White Lion, want to see how peaceful Jide's state will be this time around. Yaya Bello wants to install Ododo as his successor, while the SDP candidate and the PDP candidate, that's Dino Melaye of the PDP, wants to take power. In fact, at the point, all the political parties decided that it is, they prefer one of them to take it rather than for APCs, that they would rather come together and
Let
face
them come together.
APC. But then,
It's easier said than done.
it's easier said than done. You see that on the day of the election, all of them will file out.
They are not coming together.
They will never come together.
You see not less than 6 or 7 candidates coming.
But Kogi is going to be in the eye of the storm, seriously, in November, while also Imo, I see Opu Sodima fighting to retain that. But elections must be free and fair. While in Bayelsa, recall that Bayelsa, APC won Bayelsa 4 years ago. On the eve of the swearing in, that was when the Supreme Court, because of the discrepancies in the name of the gubernatorial candidate of the APC, flipped it.
Not discrepancies.
Certificate
forgery.
Forgery.
Certificate forgery. Not by the governor, not by the governorship candidate, Edwoyediri, but by his running mate. His deputy. So, but now with Timipre Silva, APC wants to prove that yes, they are in control, they are in charge, and that they can
We don't know yet whether
power. Timipre will be there's still a court ruling, but I think APC has appealed that. So it's a very delicate balance in the three states. PDP, it's like a 50-50 chance for PDP, APC, and Labour in Imo. While, it's going to be like a three-horse race. But Bayelsa, also very tough. Of course, although there's a problem within the ranks of the APC, while they have taken the candidates to court on the conduct of their primaries. So we hope that is resolved. But I think we see more volatility in Imo and Kogi than we see in Bayelsa.
Bayelsa State.
But it's an avenue for INEC to correct the impressions on transmitting elections on time, real time, especially with the use of beavers and the IREF, the one that couldn't happen during the presidential elections. But I don't see how that changes because results are announced at the polling units. And the same thing that you announce at the polling unit, nobody has come out to challenge the results from the polling units as being different from the ones posted on the website, or the ones the agents of the parties have. So that's why it's been difficult to prove rigging or overvoting at the presidential level.
Julie, when you look at the political parties and now INEC is not a nationwide election, it's just an off-season election for 3 states. So the INEC, they will pull their resources together, pull their staff together, and everybody, and to make sure they should give the best for these 3 states.
Yes, I trust INEC absolutely. My fear is about the politicians. What people must realize is that without the political class agreeing to behave responsibly, we cannot have a free and fair election. All of this blame being heaped on INEC, I don't see any sense in it because, look, this thing is like a relay. Everybody must play his part. INEC must ensure that ballot materials get to polling stations in good time so the election can start and end at the right time. INEC must train both its ad hoc and full-time staff so that they will be abreast with the use of the technology and even how they conduct themselves before voters. INEC must ensure that it abides by its own regulations, by its own guidelines. How about the politicians? How about the politicians? I can tell you the presidential election was much better than the governorship election in terms of compliance with the Electoral Act. By the time they saw that they could not bypass beavers, because INEC insisted that, look, there will be nothing like incident form, it has to be the beavers as the electronic accreditation module. Politicians resorted to violence. They would chase people away from places where they know that they stand no chance of winning. They will send thugs. We saw far more thuggery in subsequent election after the presidential election. Nigerians should check to see whether I'm saying the truth or not. I saw violence that we didn't see in the presidential election, we saw in the governorship election. And that's why for me, in terms of even the transparency, the way the elections panned out, the way it yielded people that we did not expect to win, the way they were able to win in the presidential election, talking about National Assembly members, such upsets we didn't see in the governorship election. How are you going to see upset when people had become desperate? Every sitting governor wanted to win by all means. Where it was difficult for them, they sent in thugs. So, who are the people, if we are saying that, okay,
it was like a rollback on the achievement of presidential election.
Yes. People don't look at this thing because they are too biased. They are too biased. They will because the presidential election didn't go the way they wanted, they have been saying that, oh, that's the worst election in Nigerian history. People who have never seen more than 2 or 3 electoral cycles in their lives, they are talking about the worst election in Nigerian history. Did you see 1983? Did you see 1979? How many elections have you witnessed? You are not in position to talk about the worst election because you cannot even, maybe some of them can't even recall how 1983 election when they were in their diapers at that time. So if we are saying that there has to be Bayelsa election in 2017 2019, there was a lot of violence, suppression of votes in places where they knew the opponent was stronger. We saw it also. We saw violence also in Kogi. It's not INEC that perpetrated violence. Now it's the politician. So we should direct everything that the IPAC man is saying here is all about INEC. As if INEC can singularly conduct election and guarantee electoral integrity without politicians playing a part. So, of course, the IPAC people are politicians, so asking them to condemn themselves will appear like political or class suicide. But this fact is self-evident. Go and look out the number of cancelled votes in Sokoto in many of the states during the governorship election that we had across our country. You see that a lot of these things were planned. People making sure that the enemy or their political opponents didn't win in the places where they were strong. You send talks to go and disrupt them. They do not see videos that Harvey Kano and others brought back of beavers being burnt in Ebonyi. So these things, we don't talk about these things because we chose to just focus on, oh, they didn't post on IREF during the presidential election. And to them, for that reason, that was a useless election. The governorship election in terms of violence and non-compliance with the Electoral Act was worse. And that's what we don't want such a thing to happen. We know the stakes are high. Governors want to remain in office. They want to plant their people. We know the stakes are high, but we need to talk to the Nigerian politician. The Nigerian politician is inherently greedy and power drunk. Desperate. We need to talk to them. They are too desperate. And with desperate people like that, you cannot have electoral integrity. Except we are deceiving ourselves. It's not for INEC alone. INEC alone can't do it. We must get that clear. INEC alone can't do it. How are you supporting INEC to ensure that they achieve their aims? You are beating people up where you know they won't vote for you. You go and beat them up. How is that right?
So vote there.
How about?
All right, MJ. So we prepare for election as if we are going for war. We have election. We can't even copy what is happening in neighboring African countries.
The life and death of your
We shut everywhere down.
See, the kind of powers that resides with the governors. That's why you see it is only in Lagos, and that's why Tinubu has been able to become governor. It's only in Lagos that we see a godfather nurturing governorship from 1999 till date. Tell me any other state. Peter Obi in Anambra, when he left, when he was leaving Anambra, went to bring somebody who doesn't know politics. He didn't stay 6 months before he threw him, before he displaced Peter Obi. Peter Obi could not go back to Anambra again. The same thing in Akwa Ibom. The Senate president, the current Senate president, enthroned Akpabio. Udom. Is the one that now brought it. He chased Akpabio out of. That's why Akpabio left PDP and came to APC.
Because he can't do anything with the mandate.
Yes. So it's always happening. So all of them.
Okay, in fact, the week that he took over, I started fighting them. That same week.
And these are the
Some
guys
of our friends
that he went to bring.
Ogazimora, they chased them out of their quarters the same week that he became governor.
So you see,
chased them out of their quarters.
You see, there is no need for a governor to want to install a deputy.
Because there is no guarantee that he will support you.
Yes, there is no guarantee that that person will
fight you.
So just go and just the way the guy in Anambra that installed Soludo, we can't even hear of him again.
No, it's in the US.
That's
I saw him with his puppy.
Yeah, so for these governors, those are the kind of powers these governors have.
Not agree.
Soludo
will not be anybody's puppet.
It will take an exemplary Omoluabi for a governor to respect the person that installed him, because the power is too enormous.
It's too tempting.
It's too tempting. Before you say, high, especially the security votes. You have access to power, to money. They won't allow you to do your aides will not allow
And
you.
governors, we have
nobody
and
audits
new hangers
security
on.
vote.
Yeah, no, so that's why
not
on
subject
election
to
day, they want to do everything humanly possible to make sure that they win. They will not tell you
What is
go
even
to
the
court.
point in using all your resources, resorting to violence to install someone who will get there and start fighting you within weeks? Is
I
it
don't
really
understand.
worth it? Is it really worth it? Because I don't just get it. You fight people, you look bad before people,
Burn
all because
bridges.
you wanted to bring someone.
Yeah.
Look at what happened in Gombe now. When Senator Goje brought in the former Accountant General of the Federation,
Yeah, Danjuma Goje brought in, that Accountant General, yeah.
Dan Kwambo.
Dan
Kwambo, according to him, turned against him. He didn't see him from the inauguration in the stadium. The only time he saw him was when his wife died. He came
Wow.
to greet him. And he said, "This is the woman who used to take care of you. You come here. Come here regularly." In the end, immediately you became governor because he wanted to assert himself. That's what all of them want to do. Every governor wants to assert himself, and he would think that, oh, these people, because they helped me to power, they won't allow me to assert myself. We saw it in Kwara too. Because all the people that they contested that APC ticket with, the governor fell out with all of them, not on talking terms with them. The people that you contested with, one by one they left the party. Abdurrahman Oba, all of them, they left the party to go and contest. But he already had the power. And having unseated the Sarakis who could really harass him, he became strong.
Yeah.
The Sarakis couldn't chase him away. When I predicted that he would win the election, somebody sent me a message, this one, you got this one wrong. I didn't answer him. He won all the local governments.
To get revolution.
I left him. He said, I didn't get it. Okay, time will tell. He won all the local governments to have himself re-elected. He didn't concede a single local government to Saraki. Because already he had become governor, he had asserted himself, and he had begun to build his own oasis of power. This is the thing. If I were a governor, honestly, I would do myself best. Let anybody who can win. I will support my party.
Yeah, yesterday, I saw the Catholic Mission, JDPC, signing peace accord, gathering all the candidates in Imo, signing peace accord. All of them were signing. I was like, doing like this to them. That accord ended where they signed it.
Where they signed
These politicians are
the
problem. They won't remember those accords they signed. They will be the one unleashing terror on youth corpers, where they fail to get the youth corpers to compromise, or the electoral officers. They'll beat them up and turn violent. It is this same this same IPAC.
They are the problem.
They are the problem. They should speak to themselves, not INEC.
I said I was looking at everything that the IPAC
INEC will provide the environment.
INEC should do this. INEC should do this. INEC should do this. INEC should ensure that security agents do not compromise. Who are the people who compromise security?
In Imo alone, the army is deploying 2,300 men. But even
on election day, you will see that
they will
won't
compromise
be able to
everybody.
stop people from rigging.
Yes. So it's the
Asking the
politicians.
question, where are they? Where are the people? They tell us that they are going to deploy civil defense. They are going to deploy navy. They are going to deploy
What police? You will see police
about
dogs.
50,000.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you will still see politicians chasing people away from places where they are not strong. That's why I said the politician is the problem.
They are.
You cannot just blame INEC and all that. You have to share the blame if you are objective. Share the blame. Where you need to blame INEC, you blame INEC. For example, if materials don't get to a polling center on time, you can't blame politicians for that. It has to be INEC. That means something is wrong with their planning and the logistics. So, but riverine areas, the Oreo means They take ballot materials to them. These people will go and hijack ballot materials on the waterways. Who do we blame for that? Our elections looking like demonstrate our elections showing signs of barbarism. It is the politician that is behind it. Who are the people even misusing the soldiers and the policemen?
We had a former president who said it's a do or die affair.
Yes.
He said it's a worse.
That's how in his state they return votes higher than the number of registered voters.
Yes.
In an election, no. We had election in this country where they did not serialize the ballot paper.